Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today's project, we're going to be planting this weeping Norway spruce right over here. Now what we're going to do is we have a tarp on the side that we're going to throw the dirt on just so we can put it back into the hole fairly easy. We're going to use two different kinds of shovels depending on how we can actually dig into the ground, how soft or how hard the ground is. One we may use a spade, the other we may use just a regular shovel. Now I want to point this out to you. We're going to plant this to the height of this bucket here. We're not going to plant it so it's sticking up really high. We're going to plant it even to the ground, approximately right here. We're going to dig a hole now, twice the size of this bucket that the plant is in, and then we're going to cut down the side, loosen up the roots, put it into the ground, and we're going to put some soil on top of it. All right, so enough talking. Let's get in there. Let's dig the hole, and we'll get it in the ground. Okay, so now once we have the hole dug, we see it's about up to here on the shovel. We'll put the shovel next to the pot, and we can see that it's at a pretty good depth already. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put the plant in, and we'll make sure it's even with the soil around it. Okay, now before we take it out, we're just going to squeeze the pot to loosen up the soil that's in there. And once you're confident you have it loosened up, we'll just grab the stem part, which is right here, and we'll pick it up by this, and we'll place it in the hole, and we'll check the level. Okay, we're going to raise it up just a little bit because it's down a little bit lower than I wanted it to be. So let's throw some dirt in the bottom of the hole, and we'll continue with that. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to bury it too far down. Okay, we're just going to throw a little bit of the potting soil or what we bought from a big box store. Okay, that should do it. Okay, now one thing I want to point out to you, if you look at the bottom of the plant itself, you see how it's all tied up with string? You want to cut that string and take it off so that way it doesn't restrict the roots from growing any place. So we're going to grab our utility knife, and we'll just grab it. And we'll cut it off. Now if you look down here, you can see where, from being tied up, you can see it starts to cut into the trunk of the tree itself. Problem with that is that this type of rope does not deteriorate and rot away. It's got some burlap around here, so we're going to put it in the hole, and we're going to open up that burlap so we can actually let the roots grow through and out. Looks like a pretty good height to me. All right, let's take off the burlap and we'll throw some soil in there. Okay, so let's pull the burlap off now because we're not going to leave this on there. We want these roots to grow. Now this burlap, if you leave a little bit on, is not a big deal because it does start to deteriorate and will rot away.
It's recording.
Okay, so you see what I mean about the burlap will rot away. So if there's little pieces on there, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It'll rot away. And in a couple of years, it'll be gone. Okay, so now we have it all off. We're going to take some good soil now. We're going to put it in around the root bowl here. But before we do that, we're going to grab our utility knife and we're going to cut a little bit on the side. And it's going to be cut vertically, not horizontally. We're going to cut from top to bottom or bottom to top just to free up the roots that may be bound up inside there. Don't worry about hurting it. What's going to happen if you cut through any root material in there, it's going to start to grow that area that was cut and it'll come out into the soil around the new plant here. Okay, so that's all set. Let's put some new soil around it. Now a lot of people tell you about the burlap. You don't need to take the burlap off, but from experience, I've had it already where if you don't take the burlap off, within a short period of time, that plant is going to dry out and die, and you'll be kicking yourself. Because as you know, plants are not cheap nowadays. Okay, and now we're going to take some of our old soil that we took out of the hole and we'll throw it in there and we'll be in good shape. Make sure your tree is pointing the direction that you want it to be pointing in. We're going to turn it just slightly like that, and that's it. We're going to fill it up now with the rest of the soil. Okay, now before we throw the rest of the dirt in there, I just want to show you something real quick. If you're not sure if the top of the tree is even with the existing soil, just put your shovel down and see what the shovel shows you. It shows you now that it's touching the top of the root ball and it's also touching the top of the dirt right on the side of it. All right, so let's fill it up with the old dirt. We just break it up, the dirt that we took out, so it's going in around the root ball itself. You don't want to pack it down real tight. You just want to pack it in there loosely, so that way the roots can grow out into it. All right, let's put a little more dirt in here, and we should be good. And now you can see down at the bottom here, the top of the tree is even with the soil itself. Now this soil, of course, as rain gets in here or we water it, it's going to shrink down into the ground a little bit, and we'll come back in at that point and we'll put some more soil in here. But you don't want to step on it and push it down. You just want to push it down with your hand just like that. Okay, so that's it. We're all done. We are going to water it really good for probably most of the summer just to make sure that the roots get established and we don't have any kind of a problem. As I said, periodically you'll have to come in and probably fill in a little dirt around the base of it, but that's it. This job is done, and we're on to the next one. All right, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.